bought a 240Z when I was 24 years old. It was hanging from the rafters in a restoration place. It was basically just a bare shell, no running gear, no doors, no bonnet, just pure shell. I spent probably close to 2.5 years doing all the rust repair on it. It was in pretty bad shape. I picked it up for about $400, so it was, back then, they were fairly cheap to get a hold of. My name's Marc, I'm 38 years old. I've had a passion for cars since I was about 15 years old. It all started with go-karts actually. In year 9 I built my first go-kart and just used to play off-road. I fell in love with the Datsuns when Dad bought his first 260Z. It was a 2+2 1975 model, and pretty much fell in love with the car, just the shape of it. It was just a stunning looking car for its age. Grew a passion for the 240Z. Seeing that car and just the shape of it, the history of the car as well, you know, the rallying, the circuit racing and all that sort of stuff. I just fell in love with it. I had about 5 at one stage. So yeah, it was a 69 240Z, and then I bought a 73 240Z. Might wait a few more years till my son's a little bit older so we can work on it together. When I originally registered the car, it was running an L28, which is a 2.8 litre out of a 280ZX. I was running twin carbs and then decided to fuel inject it and turbocharge it. So yeah, now it's running forged bottom end, so forged pistons, still running standard rods, standard crank, standard head gasket and head studs. Running about 16-pound boost, normal driving, and with the boost controller, get it up to about 23 pound. Run straight E85 fuel with 890cc injectors. Mr. K, who's the famous engineer behind it all that made it all happen, his target audience was America. They basically wanted to try and get Nissan into America, but they didn't want to tarnish the Nissan name just in case things went pear-shaped. So they introduced it as Datsun. Well, with the restoration, when I started doing that, choosing a color was probably one of the most difficult things I had to do. The original color was orange, and I didn't really want to stick with the orange. After weeks of looking for a color, I finally settled on a Holden color, which is off the VS Senator. It's called HSV Black Cherry Mica. Once the car was painted, pretty much the interior, I decided to just go plain black. I did most of the interior myself. I did the door trims. All of the plastic pieces were in pretty bad shape, so a bit of tender love and care, got them into, you know, a decent shape, a bit of plastic welding and what have you, and then topped it off with a final plastic paint, and brought it back to original. The carpet, all done by hand. The seats, I just got some aftermarket racing seats in there. Originally I had racing harnesses, which I later found out weren't roadworthy when I got pulled over, so the car actually got defected because of the turbo and had to go and get an engineer certificate, which is a good thing. So the car's fully legal. The turbo on there's, it's not an overly big turbo, it's a GT2871R. They're good for about 460 horsepower, thereabouts, and the thing's got very little lag and it spools up nice and quick. And it makes boosts up to about 7.5 grand, so it's quite fun to drive, and yeah, it's got a fair bit of kick behind it. started doing a bit of research on computers to basically control the fuel injection and the timing. I came across something called a Megasquirt. You basically get a kit and you assemble it yourself and you build your own ECU. A really good mate of mine bought a Hot Wheels 240Z, which was actually white. He actually pulled it apart and painted it black cherry mica, the same colour as my car. People know the passion that I have for my car, and thoughts like this are just so touching. I've owned the car for the last 15 or 16 years. One thing I look forward to doing, which I did with my father, was working on cars together. I hope to do that one day with my son. So I've got another 240Z that I'd like to restore with him, and hopefully we can have that same bonding that me and my father had. And yeah, he gets a passion for cars just like I do. And yeah, just really look forward to him growing up and helping me and doing the same things that I did with my dad.